want to see out of them is a ban on a big melee assassin, whether it be Zeratul or Illidan. I think those on this map, Illidan and Zeratul take more priority over Kerrigan. And maybe pick up themselves a Kerrigan and Uther as well with their first two picks. I mean, that's really going all in on denying Goku his hero, but I feel like that would really lend it very, very well to Kappa Wolves. Though, for all I know, Goku plays an amazing ranged assassin as well. But what we've seen from him today is great melee assassin play. Take that away from him. Take away the thing that has got Goon Squad thus far in the tournament and the player that single-handedly won them that match. And they're starting to. They already are setting themselves up for that. They banned out the Zeratul. They don't want to see that ban out that Zeratul. Now we're going to see what Goon Squad decides to take out for themselves.
And like we said before, man, like that Zeratul Void Prison, like Goku is, like you said, single-handedly won games by placing those Void Prisons in the positions they need to be in. Granted, you still need 4 other players to follow up, but
yeah,
without those Void Prisons, those team fights would have been lost.
Yes.
So, let's see what Goon Squad will pull out of their pocket. I don't like coming out of that last game. Like, if I were Goon Squad, I would not feel intimidated at all. Like, I love the Kappa Wolves guys. I love the Goon Squad guys. But like, just out of like the game that happened just a few minutes ago, they were ahead the entire game. They
yes.
did not let up a single inch. Well,
now.
Unless you talk about that team fight in the bottom, where
that's true.
They did happen to let that 1 inch go.
Just one though.
But they took 2 in return.
Yes, exactly. So they are really taking their time on this ban. I mean, they're already down to 30 seconds on the reservoir twine. Making words up on their reservoir time. And okay, they're going to ban out the Illidan. So they were really maybe that's why they're making the decision. Do we want to risk it and allow Kappa Wolves to pick up an Illidan? Or, you know, I almost guarantee you if Goon Squad didn't ban out Illidan there, that Kappa Wolves was going to pick it to deny it from Goku. Almost guarantee you. So with that being said, are we going to see Goku on a hero we haven't seen him yet play with Kappa Wolves picking up a Kerrigan, or are they going to go with a Kerrigan? And if they do go with a Kerrigan, I would like to see it paired up with that Uther.
Yeah, you know, we see Sylvanas pick up right away. Again, we saw Hawkfoop doing really, really well with Sylvanas that last game. And she plays a little bit differently on this map because she doesn't have to worry about too many ganks early on because it's such a big map, like we've said before. But Goon Squad now has 2 picks, so I'm expecting maybe a Kerrigan to Rondo or maybe even a Jaina Kael'thas. Could be either one of those.
That would be really good too. That would be super solid. They're going with the Brightwing. I like the first pick Brightwing. I like that pickup. It's Cursed Hallow. Now, are they going to get a Lost Viking? That's the next thing I want to know. Lost Vikings or Abathur are definitely a potential here. Though Abathur generally is paired up with a Zeratul or a Illidan, and obviously those guys are taking the fight. Nope, they're going with a Jaina. So Jaina is such a strong hero right now. One of the strongest assassins. I personally think she is the strongest assassin. I would much rather Jaina over Kael'thas any day of the week, but Kappa Wolves are going to get themselves a Kael'thas, the next best wizard, and scoop up an Anubarak as well. So Anubarak is a hero that really lends well to aggression in the early game. He's always a presence throughout the map, throughout the course of the game. In the early game, he can rotate and gank. He has great lane sustain with his beetles. In the late game, he can turn into a powerhouse if he goes rewind and has a lot of stuns and can burrow charge in, rewind, burrow charge out. He can go with hardened shield. He's just a strong hero throughout the course of the game, and one of the reasons why we see him picked up so very often.
Definitely. I mean, since the last patch, we've talked about this before. The AI fix on his beetles, man.
Yeah.
Like I get really frustrated with just how good the beetles are now. Like you're sitting there doing a team fight, and then all of a sudden there's like 6 freaking beetles,
dude,
beating you down, and you try to run away, and they're following you into the bush.
Yeah, you're
really
trying
don't have vision.
Yeah, you're trying to run away. Like if you're a Nova or a Zeratul, you can't ever decloak. You're trying to mount up. They're so frustrating to deal with, and I remember before the A on those beetles, man. Those beetles before they got changed were just like all the time. They would go randomly attack creep in the middle of team fights. They would just like go off and do their own thing. So I'm glad they fixed the AI, and it's really brought Anubarak back to the meta. I really like that though, because he was such a great hero to cast before, and now that he's back, we've seen such great high-level play coming out of him.
Same thing with Zeratul. Like, he fell off and he came back. But Tyrael's being banned out by Goon Squad. So they know that Kappa Wolves might go for that Tyrael Anubarak, maybe?
I like that. I like that a lot, man, because Tyrael and Anubarak are best buddies. Strong. They complement each other. They follow up each other's initiation. They both are rather high damage, burst damage-based warriors. And when you have a Jaina on your team, you really don't want to be dealing with a Anubarak Tyrael. That's a very threatening dive combination that they would have to deal with, and now they don't. So I really like that draft.
Yeah,
or I'm sorry, I like that ban rather. I like that.
Yeah, the dive on the back line, man, that's incredibly powerful, especially on someone like Jaina. But we see Vala banned out by Kappa, so they're looking at it like, hey, we already Illidan's banned out, Zeratul's banned out, and Vala's banned out. So we're either going to force you into a Kerrigan, Tychus, Falstad, or like a Zagara type play. But as we are looking at this composition now, the only thing that we've seen Goku playing, really, aside from these heroes that are banned already, is Kerrigan.
Yeah. And that's I don't think we're going to see that. I think if we're going to see a Kerrigan, it would be paired with an Uther. And there's the Lost Vikings that I was talking about. I felt a Lost Viking pick in the first phase of the draft, but they're going to go with it in the later phase and pick up a Tassadar as well. So they only have a warrior to get. I think it's either going to be a Muradin or a Johanna. Either way, I think it's going to be one of those two warriors. Both of them are strong heroes. Both of them are great. And I really like the Lost Viking pickup, because the thing with the Lost Viking, we talked about it before, is they're able to soak effectively in more than one lane at a time, enabling the other heroes on the team to be really, really aggressive and push down a wave and whatnot. And when a tribute spawns, the poking power of a Brightwing, a Jaina, and a Tassadar, that is so much poke and soak, man. They can sit there and keep these guys off that tribute indefinitely while their Lost Vikings sit back, soak, they get an experience advantage, and they kind of just, it's all downhill from there.
For sure. And we see a Malfurion pickup by Kappa Wolves, which is pretty... Lately, it's been more and more prevalent having a Malfurion in the meta. Brightwing has been always on the forefront of that, along with Uther and Tassadar, but Malfurion has always been on the sidelines. And it seems recently he's really seen more of a resurgence in play. But aside from that, looking at Kappa Wolves' composition, I can't really think of what they're aiming for. Like, they might go for a Falstad. Haven't seen Falstad really. His global presence is really, really strong, though. Yeah. So they could go for that. But they're probably trying to think of what Goon Squad is going to go for and see what their choices are.
There's a Zagar to potentially picked up for a good backliner. That would complement the Sylvanas push so very well. That would be a very, very scary lane. A Sylvanas, a Zagara, and a Malfurion. And no, they're going with a double warrior. They're going with the Muradin. And I like the double warrior because Malfurion complements double warrior composition so very well. Just because he's an AoE healing monster, he's a sustained monster. And obviously when you have two warriors, you're about you're having their big front line, control the zone, get some stuns out and whatnot. And team fights can be a little bit elongated by the fact that you don't necessarily have as much damage, you have a little bit more survivability. So Malfurion, being that AoE healing monster that he is with Tranquility, Life Seed at 13 if he decides to go that stuff like that, I really, really like that. And obviously I think the Johanna was pretty much the only pickup that they could go for, and that's exactly what Goon Squad's going to get.
And we'll just have to see how it plays out. I mean, the two strongest warriors in the game right now are on Kappa's side. But we've seen time and time again, Goon Squad, they're no slouches. They don't like to let things go. We'll outplay you at your game. Like, you may have been able to draft a little bit better than we have, maybe. I like the draft that Goon Squad has. Kappa Wolves does have a pretty scary composition, though.
So today, I have to apologize. This is exceptionally unprofessional, but I might have to get up during the cast to go enter the door for my pizza.
No worries, man. If you do, you do.
I am so hungry. Oh, my Lord. I cannot begin to explain to you how hungry I am. For Heroes of the Storm are loading into the match, guys. Cursed Hallow, a map that we all know and love dearly. And I really like the Lost Viking pickup on Goon Squad. I feel like they have always played the early game fairly well. And the Lost Vikings is just going to enable them to build on the strength of their great early game decision making capabilities. Just keep them away from the tribute. Sit there, harass them. Let your Lost Vikings do what Lost Vikings do. The only thing that they have to be worried about is the push from Sylvanas. As long as they're able to negate a push from Sylvanas, and they don't lose too much ground in the fight for structures, they should be just all right in the mid game. With that being said, Kappa Wolves, they have a Kael'thas, they have a Sylvanas, they have an Anubarak. That is so much initiation, so much burst damage, so much control from them as well. So I really like these teams. I feel like the draft is fairly even nonetheless. Completely different play styles, but let's introduce these guys. On the left side of your map, we're going to have Visceral playing Sylvanas, Big Impact playing the Kael'thas, a.k.a. Fossey, just kidding, Face, playing Malfurion, Yelkow on the Muradin, and Hawkfu playing the Anubarak.
And then over here in the red trunks, we're going to have Jaina being played by Goku, which is a little bit different from what we're used to seeing. Bossfloss is going to be on that Joanna. Tassadar is going to be played by Goat. The Vikings by Hosty. And Get Up playing Brightwing tonight. But it looks like they're all positioning up here in the top lane, trying to get some sort of gank off here. But it looks like Goat might have something to say about that. If he pops his Oracle ability, he's going to be able to see that there's 3 people hiding right there.
Phase shift coming in, so this is going to be the good old, like I said, 4-man push while your Vikings soak other lanes. And Big Impact has to be careful. There's the Blizzard. He took 2 hits from the Blizzard, as well as the Condemn coming out from the Johanna. They aren't going to be able to seal the deal, but this is going to be one hell of a push here in the top lane. With the Brightwing sustaining them, the big damage coming out from the Tassadar and the Jaina. They're going to be losing some towers here. And what are they going to do to respond to this? I mean, they have a Sylvanas to help mitigate with the creep pushing in. But otherwise, I mean, their wave clear is okay, but it just doesn't stand up to this big 4-man push in the top lane.
It's going to be really, really scary considering that they have 3 Vikings. Well, one of the Vikings just got taken out down the bottom lane, but he's instantly sending Eric down there to soak that bottom lane. They're putting so much pressure on this top lane, man. Like, Joanna's in a bit of trouble here. Bosswell's going to be taken down really, really quickly, out of position for a slight second, isn't able to pop his Unstoppable, and he gets taken out.
That was a really greedy play that Goon Squad did. Unfortunately, their aggression kind of biting them in the rear end there as it got punished. So well done by Kappa Wolves to get that. And now they actually have an experienced lead, which is something you don't really see that often with the Vikings. However, the Viking factor doesn't come into play until the first tribute spawns. That's really when you're going to see the experience. If Goon Squad plays this correctly, they can get themselves a big experience advantage. Not around level 4, but specifically around the level 7 and level 10 talent tiers.
Especially with this tribute going to be spawning here any second now. Big Impact was pulled out of that Blizzard, unfortunately, by Bossfloss, so he didn't take too much damage. But we'll have to see what happens. Honda Wave going off into the minion wave and is able to kill it, basically. So, but it looks like Anubarak's actually putting quite a bit of pressure with these beetles, man. They are so insane.
They are. They are. They're so frustrating to deal with. And just a good job by Hawkfu. Both those towers are out of ammunition, so that will lend well to any future curse or just outright push that Hawkfu has been doing. He's been doing a good job thus far, but here's the first tribute all the way in the bottom lane, nonetheless. And a quick rotation coming out here from the entirety of Goon Squad minus the Vikings to get down there, get in position. Oh, man, Muradin, he is getting the good old horseshoe treatment. He's going to get body blocked in there. Baylog does get taken out, but a Baylog for a Muradin, that's an exchange Goon Squad will take any day of the week.
And like you're saying, we do see that Brightwing is up top. This is one of the powerful things about Brightwing. She's able to port down and assist the team at any point during a match. So
yeah.
And we're seeing that once again, Goku's able to secure that tribute relatively easily and back out there without too much of a repercussion. It looks like they do have quite a bit of pressure going here in the top lane, but everyone else is rotating back up to that lane to assist and push this team back. Kappa Wolves is doing a great job so far. They're still relatively even, but they are down a tribute right now.
So what Kappa Wolves is doing to help deal with the Lost Viking factor is they completely forfeited that tribute. Hawkfu gave a little harassment, but they knew that they were not going to be getting that. And instead, they utilize the strength of Sylvanas, and they pushed down the top lane. They were only able to get one tower out of it. though that tower is what has kept them neck and neck with the experience. They're still a little bit behind, but, I mean, it's going to catch up with them eventually. If they give up too much ground, them being Kappa was, if they give up too much ground and just let them get free tributes, that could really, really bounce back in their face. So we're going to see what they do here. The second tribute spawning once again, and yeah, Kappa Wolves are just kind of holding their ground, not really rotating to it.
And that might actually come to bite them in the butt later on in this match. I mean, they already have 2 tributes down for Goon Squad. I mean, one more, and like we said, they will get that curse, and that curse is so powerful, especially early on. If you're able to get the first 3 tributes, it's really hard to come back from that.
Visceral had a good haunting way of getting him out of trouble, as he would have absolutely gone down if he didn't have that haunting wave up just 1 second too late. And this top lane is a lot of contention, though they're losing the push fight in top lane as well. So it's just, I mean, it's just not looking good for them in the early game. Goon Squad, once again, dictating the terms in the early game. I mean, going up against the Sylvanas, they're out pushing the Sylvanas. They're out soaking with the Vikings. They have 2 tributes. Now, the experience advantage isn't huge by any means. I think both these teams are going to be around the same level come the next tribute. But this forces, a win-win situation for Goon Squad. Even if they lose the team fight at the next tribute with being level 9 or level 10, they still are going to be in a comfortable spot with Vikings soaking at the same time. They're going to continue to have lanes pushing in with them. So they got to be feeling comfortable with this. And here's this tribute, and you know we're going to have to see a response out of Kappa Wolves.
And I love this play. Olaf pings down middle, rotates up to the top, and then all 4 members of Goon Squad rotate to the mid lane and actually sit there and start damaging the towers. They take out a tower before the tribute spawns. They need to position themselves to be able to get the tribute, but all 5 members of Kappa Wolves are actually here, ready to fight. But it looks like if they're able to hit 10, they could fight. But it actually, wow, they were able to get that tribute relatively easily.
AKA Face on the Malfurion was able to scoop it up. And if he didn't get it there, if one of the team members of Goon Squad was able to deny that pickup from the curse, that would have gone really bad for them because they got level 10 right when it was picked up. So if he didn't get that, the tribute wouldn't have been picked up. Level 10 would have been online for Goon Squad. They would have been able to just push right into Kappa Wolf's face and taking the team fight, taking a curse, as well Lost Vikings soaking into all 3 lanes. So that was a very, very tense moment for them. But they were able to come out ahead there. And now they've been keeping themselves alive. They're down a level, but they aren't under a curse yet.
And it looks like they're going to be rotating down. They're going to put some pressure on the bottom lane. They're just going for the towers now, it looks like. Taking out all the towers and all the walls. And it's exactly what they've done in the top and middle lane. And they're rotating down to take out that tower in the bottom lane. So
here is the next tribute. And this is definitely in a favorable position for Goon Squad. It's on their side of the map. They are going to be able to get into the position a little bit more effectively. I mean, they were able to push down the last remaining Tier 1 towers on the side of Kappa Wolves. So now, if they get a curse here, every single one of these forts is going to be exposed to getting taken out, though. A quick response from Kappa Wolves. They're able to get their Murden in position, and Hosty is going to use the Lost Vikings to deny the tribute pickup. And oh no, they're all grouped up on top of a Phoenix. Hawkfu is going to get in there onto Get Up. But now the turnaround, a Blizzard doing a lot of damage on a Hawkfu. The Tranquility has been used already. And if they are able to survive this Tranquility, they might be able to turn this around. Boss overextending, though. Can they keep him alive? A Blink Heal's keeping him alive. He's so very low. He stays alive. One of the Lost Vikings going down here. This is a very scrappy team fight. They're forcing the Kappa Wolves inside of this choke point. A very awkward position. Nonetheless, but no one has gone down quite yet. One of the Lost Vikings has already gone down. Hosty might be losing another one of the Lost Vikings. That's not the biggest deal in the world. Murden is just holding tight, trying to get this tribute. Though, like I mentioned before in the draft phase, the amount of poke that Goon Squad has to keep them off this tribute, they could almost do it indefinitely if they play this right. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're waiting for the Lost Vikings to come back, and at this rate, all the heroics are going to be back up.
Looks like Blessed Shield is back up. Blink Heal is back up. Got another 20 seconds to go before Water Elemental is back up. But it looks like they're just going to go for that tribute and just cap it and put a little bit more pressure on them. Vikings are coming back down to engage on that fight. Looks like there's no heroics up for Kappa Wolves just yet. So this could be really bad for Kappa Wolves, but they are playing this really well.
They are. Get Up, they got to contest this. All right, they are going to contest it. There's a big Blizzard. Murden taking a lot of damage. And The time bar here is Malfurion's mana bar. He can only keep this sustain up for so very long. While if you look over at Brightwing, her heals are mostly mana free. So they're perfectly okay with this, and here's the initiate from Murden, but oh my lord, he gets blown up immediately! And that is so good for Goon Squad. They are able to turn this team fight around. 2 takedowns immediately, going their way. Water Elemental doing some work. They're going to get these takedowns. They're going to get themselves a curse. They're going to be level 13 here at any moment in time. And once again, their patented early game aggression, their superior decision-making capabilities, has once again let them into a strong mid-game, and they are going to just take the map control, the map vision, away from Kappa Wolves.
For sure, my friend, and it looks like they're going to be taking that mid fort pretty easily. They may rotate down here, down to the bottom and or top lane, take out those forts, but they may just keep pushing this middle lane. They still have 3 or 4 heroics about to be up. Blessed Shield is coming up here shortly. They're going for that Merc camp on the bottom left-hand side to grab that Bruiser, put some pressure on the middle lane while they go and take something else. It looks like Get Up is going back for that mana, going to port in right away. Are they going to go for this boss, though? It doesn't look like it. They're going to go for that bottom fort.
So now as they rotate down to bottom, get that fort, as you mentioned. All the fort top lane, that is quite a wave pushing in right there. I'm interested to see what the response is for Kappa Wolves once this curse ends. The boss is up, and this is around the time of the game where you start seeing teams taking the boss. Brightwing went and bribed the Siege Ogres to put even more pressure into that bottom lane, and now Goon Squad. Oh, they got to be careful here, and I believe I have pizza at my door. Be right back.
And they're going in for that initiation, going on top of Kael'thas. He's actually taking quite a bit of damage. Okay, Face is going to take quite a damage as well. Is going to be taken down if he's not careful. It looks like Kael'thas was taken out really, really quickly. Hawkfu taking quite a bit of damage. Tassadar having to eat double to get out of there. He is able to get out of there with his life. Hosey doing everything he can to use the longboat raid to deal as much damage. Visceral being taken out. Yelkow is about to go down as well. Hawkfu is in a lot of trouble here. He's probably going to be able to burrow out of there. Okay. And it looks like they're going to go for that boss in the bottom left-hand side. And at this point, they're going to be able to grab both bosses. They're going to keep that boss pushing down that bottom lane and doing huge amounts of damage. They have to respond to this. They have to defend against this bottom boss hand. And then they're going to go up for that top boss and probably grab that one as well. It's usually what you see in situations like this where a team has a huge advantage. They're going to take one boss, go up, and take the other one immediately after.
I am back. I'm sorry to leave you hanging there, man.
It's cool, man.
But pizza here is nonetheless. So, looks like, from what I gather, Goon Squad won another team fight, and were able to get the boss. And now they're going to fall back to their own boss, their own Bruiser camp. This has been the recipe for success for them, man. Their early game aggression lends to a strong mid game. They have great decision-making capabilities. They have calculated aggression, which I'm assuming is what they did right there, where they got themselves into a good posture and caught them off guard. And now they're going to get both the bosses, keep all the lanes pushed in, get tributes, get curses, and it's just very effective play, man. I am so impressed by Goon Squad's play so far.
As am I, man. It looks like they're just going to go paint the map red, as we like to say. They're going to take all the mercs into their favor, and they're going to push down the lane with this top boss. Take that vision tower, make sure they have all the vision they can, and put some more aggression on. They have to defend against this boss here pushing the top lane.
Yeah, and the tribute spawning as well. Prime position for Goon Squad to get some tier 2 towers. A Phoenix being laid down to try to take this boss out. And are they going to really be pushing here, or are they just using this to force decisions out of Kappa Wolves? There is your Tranquility being popped already. And Kael'thas, he needs that level 16, man, but they're losing so much ground that by the time he gets level 16, it might not be enough for them to turn this around. Johanna is tanking it up as Johanna does. Boss Floss living up to his name. The Vikings, Visceral way out far front. He's got to be careful. He could have been caught out. He took a lot of harassment damage there. Same with Hawkfu. So the walls and tier 2 towers are all down. Top keep, completely exposed. And neither of these teams really hard committing to a team fight. A lot of kind of posturing, poking and whatnot, but no, Hawkfu almost gets caught out, but he's going to have his burrow charge up. And oh my lord, the Lost Vikings going in there. Exchanging blows, able to get out as well.
It's just a constant back and forth, back and forth. It's what we've been seeing a lot of these team fights. Is they're like, hey, do we want to engage? Oh, not quite yet, not quite yet. It's not favorable. Hosty taking quite a bit of damage here. The Lost Vikings are getting decently low, but they're able to get out of dodge and dodge that Phoenix. I mean, Olaf does go down before the longboat raid is popped, but it does do enough to push them off of that team fight and get them out of there.
So, all the meanwhile, Tribute has that was an entire Tribute spawn. That's how long that fight went on. We had 2 Tribute spawn. So now this is Goku is in a good position to pick this up. Though I think Hafu is going to be able to deny it. Yes, he is. And this is one of the most awkward position for this Tribute. There's so many choke points, and they got to be really careful. Both of these teams have to be really, really careful about the positioning here. So we might just see another big standoff. I mean, that's pretty much what happened last time with that push in the top gate. Both these teams can just kind of entrench themselves in and wait for one of the other teams to make a mistake.
They want to be careful here. It looks like Goku's taking quite a bit of damage from the Kael'thas, but at the same point, Haku is just sitting here trying to grab this tribute consistently, and Yelkow is out of position. Like, he's pushing in quite a bit further. He does pop his avatar, and he's able to chase Goku off the fight, but Boss Floss is actually out of mana. If he's not too careful here, he might go down, but he's able to get out of there pretty easily. It looks like their entire team gets out alive, which is going to work out decently, considering they don't really have to worry too much about taking too much damage. But all the Vikings, the Vikings are split up. They're soaking each lane. They're trying to hit that level 20 first.
That's the power of Vikings, and that's the hallmark of a good Vikings player, is knowing when he needs a team fight and knowing when he needs to be split soaking. And level 20 is such an important talent here. Though, speaking of important talent tiers, Kael'thas has hit the important level 16. He has the Ignite. He has the Living Bomb talents. So, and they didn't lose too much ground. They didn't lose a single keep. They lost some tier 2 towers, but with that being online, this Kael'thas has just become a huge force, a huge source of damage. And Goon Squad has to take that into consideration. They really have to respect that Kael'thas now.
He only has 1 stack of Gathering Power, though, which is... It's all right. I mean, you still have that bonus, but it's not as bad as like seeing like a Kael'thas with max stacks.
Yes. Dude, it's so scary. All right, here is a tribute spawning right in the heart of bottom lane. And this will be a curse for Kappa if they get it. And if they're able to get a curse here, it'll do quite a bit to help them get back in this game. But being down 2 levels at this stage is such a huge amount of ground to have to overcome. We'll see if that Kael'thas at level 16 is going to be able to carry themselves to victory. But no, the tribute gets picked up cleanly by a Goon Squad without much contention. And it looks like Kappa wants to force the issue.
Yeah, this might not work out for them if they try to go a little too far forward. I mean, you got to think they have no forts down at this point, and they're on their back foot right now. They have, what does it look like, 2 complete walls down. Their top and mid lane have no walls at all. So they can just go in there and take a fort at any point during these engagements. And it looks like they're going to try to come down here and combat the Golem from being taken. And it might work out for them.
We got to be careful here. Oh, man, Goat gets completely caught out of position. He has to use the Dimensional Shift earlier in the team fight. A 2-man Blizzard, though. Oh, my lord. Arnubrak gets absolutely destroyed, and this is looking great for the Goon Squad, ladies and gentlemen. Kael'thas, he's way into the back line. The Lost Viking boat is trying to set sail, and that's exactly what he's doing. It might get taken out a little bit early, though. Get up is pretty low. He's having to use his Blink Kill to keep himself up. My lord, D, that Malfurion got absolutely destroyed. Oh, my lord, another beautiful 3-man route into 3-man Blizzard. 2 more people go down. Make it 4. That was a great team fight. Going the way of Goon Squad. Visceral has to be careful. Can they get the whole handful? Can they get 5 of them? They're looking for it. Hosty running in there. A big shoop-de-whoop from him. Using his Haunting Wave to get away, and I think it will be 5 going down. That's a 5-man team wipe. Going the way of Goon Squad. They're going to get themselves a boss, get themselves a curse, and inevitably get a keep.
Amazing Blizzards by Jaina in that team fight. I mean, you couldn't ask for better ones. I mean, the Malfurion roots were on point, but Jaina just came out ahead and was like, hey guys, my Blizzards are better. What are you going to do about it? Let's get this ball rolling. We're going to win this team fight. Even though I died, I'm going to come back and we're going to win this game. I don't care what you guys have to say. And it looks like they're going to get Curse on top of it. Hosty up here in the top lane, grabbing that with the Eric the Swift, and they're going to push down that bottom lane and do as much damage as they possibly can.
So with that Curse, man, this is just looking better and better for Goon Squad. They're going to sweep up to the top to help deal with those Siege Ogres, but that boss, man, he's taking down the towers. He is still really, really healthy. The Lost Viking factor coming into just, I mean, showing its effect with how well they've been soaking. They have soaked 23,000 experience, more than doubling the #1 experience contributor of Kappa Wolves. That is huge. That you don't normally see that big of an experience advantage solely from the Lost Vikings, even for the Lost Vikings.
Well, the Vikings are the prime example. I actually brought this up at BlizzCon. I was like, hey, guys, I asked one of the, I think it was John Z. I asked him, hey, are you worried about the Lost Vikings?
John Cena?
John Z.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey, do you
I was
think
like, I didn't know he played Heroes.
do you think there's going to be a problem with the XP soaking for the Lost Vikings? And he said, no. This just shows you how strong they really are.
That was so anticlimactic. You were like, no.
Yeah, it really was. But I still think about that. I'm like, oh, man. But the Lost Vikings, that is one of their best attributes, is being able to soak 3 lanes. We have a lot of pressure going down in the top lane. It doesn't look like the Golem was able to do too much damage on the top, but the zoning from this Phoenix is going to be able to keep them from engaging fully as they want to. But at this point, the Golem has so much health, it's going to be pretty much guaranteed that this fort is going to go down. We do see huge Blizzard going down on top of Kael'thas and Malfurion, both being eliminated fairly quickly. And it looks like they're going to go for that longboat raid, trying to keep Yelkow and Visceral out of the fight. They need to erase Boss Floss as quickly as possible, and they do. Yelkow is getting really, really low. Is going to go down, and the Golem is going to see to that, and they're going to go for that GG. That's going to be game. Goon Squad is going to win 2-0 over Kappa Wolves.
Congratulations to them, man. Once again, the patented...